Good morning, friends. I've been asked to stand in by the current MCCG coordinator, Lavinia, a couple of days ago. So I shouldn't be standing here. It should be she. Anyway, since I was involved in the formation of MCCG in 1992, which is a Malaysian climate change group, maybe I'm in a better position to talk a little bit about the history of MCCG, what we tried to do, and where we are now. We basically were originally mobilized when the formation of Climate Action Network Southeast Asia was done in Jakarta, not Jakarta, also Jakarta in Java, earlier, 6 months earlier. Then there was a need among a few of us who were there. We said we should form our own group here itself. And there were only basically, at that time, EPSM and SEDEM. And we had a slightly different name, Malaysian Climate Core Group, then we changed to Malaysian Climate Change Group. Basically, our interest was to work on climate change issues, both within the country and internationally. We have found that over the 14 years now, it is not that easy, and especially going overseas. Going overseas has been very much dependent upon whether money is available. Earlier years, because KNC was relatively well funded, they could provide us some funding, and also CAN itself had money. But over the last few years, that has totally disappeared, sort of thing. So now we are basically dependent upon. We try to raise money within the country. We have not been successful as the youth. Maybe our approach is too outdated. But to cut the story long, we haven't really been officially going to any COP for the last almost 3 COPs. GEC was representing us in a way because GEC on its own goes to the COPs over there in Paris. But Lavinia didn't go, neither did anybody else from the other NGOs go. Now, one of the problems we have working within the country itself, there are very few pressure points available in this country where you can really lobby. There is the National Climate Change Committee on which MCCG and SEDEM sit, but that committee meets twice a year, but depending on the Secretary General of the ministry. And last year, the committee never met at all. And I'm still pestering the new Secretary General when we will meet. One of the roles of the committee, which was to me useful, was to look at the positions of the delegation at the coming COP. But that has been sort of cut down. At one stage, we had full-length discussions, almost half a day, and we managed to provide some inputs and changes. But subsequently, I remember one of the Secretary General, who is now a fugitive somewhere, I won't name him, you know who he is. He just cut down the discussion to 1 hour. And we said, how the heck can we discuss the national position within 1 hour? And all they did was just presented us, oh, this is what the national delegation is going to do. You hardly could comment on it. So in a way, it's become a charade. But I think the other things that we have tried to do is more in the capacity of individual NGOs themselves, rather than MCCG, when we sit on the various committees that the government invites us to. But you know, most of you who are familiar in Malaysia, Malaysian government actually makes a charade of public participation and similarly NGO participation. Sometimes you find at the end of it, is it worth going? You spend so much time and effort, then they say, listen, they don't take it on board. And that brings us from the national physical plan to things like master plans and all that. So much so that I've come to a stage where I'm now very, very cynical that I should go for these meetings. But then you go against go, because you have very little other options left. So in a way, I would argue that we need, maybe you perhaps could give us some new ideas on how to be more, because even giving this quotation, how much of it actually had an impact on the delegation? We can ever articulate anything. So I think what we need to do perhaps, and this is I think the witness in Malaysia, is we need to monitor and hold them to account, hey, we can do this, but you did nothing about it. Why didn't you do anything? And we need to do more of that. But of course, with the current intolerance of information, the closing down of the website, TMI now, and then threats, OSA is to be strengthened. I don't know whether we will have the democratic space. But all our years, we have tried to push the democratic space, and we'll keep on pushing. But we hope the youth will push more strongly, and maybe use your new internet skills and all that to spread the message more widely. Because at the moment, it's really, really tough. Luckily, you have the internet now. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, we were totally at the mercy of the media, mass media. And it was coverage was on and off. when the media felt like giving you coverage, so you receive a little bit, otherwise nothing. So, with those remarks, I think I will end by saying that just doing a plug-in for CETA, we are having a climate change, annual climate change dialogue. This year it will be held on the 26th of May in the Armada Hotel. We hope to pin down the British High Commissioner, the American Ambassador, and the Malaysian Minister to come down and say what really Paris is going to be. Consequences. Thank you.